Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
What do you think of when you hear the chocolate season? Artisan chocolates? Of course. They have the best chocolates this side of the Atlantic. Friendly neighborhood coffee shop? Yup, they're that too. A nationally recognized top-tier brunch spot. Waffle weekends, baby. And the place to grab a gift for literally any occasion? Everybody loves chocolate. See for yourself at the Chocolate Season, 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead online at thechocolateseason.com.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's phishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Old School with DP and J.
DPGM. What are you going to do to Caleb Williams? What are you going to do? You going to draft him?
No.
You're not going to draft him?
No, I don't. Here's my thing. I don't want anybody to. I'm not going to bring poison into my program because that's what it would be. He's letting you know he's poison. He's venom. Why would I put poison in my own soup?
Maybe you think you're a mongoose. You can't.
No. I have zero.
You're a mongoose. You can take the Cobra venom.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, good morning. Welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC. And as always, joined on the ones and twos with Harrison. How you doing this morning?
Doing good. We got our NFL playoff talk out of the way, so don't worry, we won't dive into the Cowboys too much. I was a little bummed out. Didn't realize I have the audio turned up out there for you. But we had Inside the Huddle. You guys can go back, watch it on YouTube with Jay Foreman. And again, if you guys ever want to join the show for Bigger Than the Score, as we'll have guests streaming on, as well as one in studio here, 402-464-5685. Sutter Heyman text line. Put a face to the voice through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 961. Again, that's 961 all the way across Nebraska. So if you got Allo cable, that is, you got ticket content, channel 961. But yeah, doing great. A little bit cooler of a Sunday, but much better.
Well, not cooler, warmer.
Been.
A little warmer. Don't say cooler. You out here, you'll scare the folks now.
Yeah, no, it's doing better. I could actually see the road. It wasn't all covered in ice this morning. It's a nice change.
Yeah, coming over the viaduct a little bit over here on O Street. It wasn't like the Breslin Ice Center, and it wasn't doing curling with 10,000-pound cars and everything else. And so you can see some things starting to melt, but we still want people, when you're out there, be careful. A lot of slips and, still some ice out there. So take your time, know where you need to be, is in a hurry. And the only place you need to be is just turn the radio on to 93.7 The Ticket, use the Ticket app or all the other ways Harrison talked about and tune in and just listen to things. Like I said, no cowboy talk. The audio was turned off as we were sitting out in the lobby listening. So I was doing some prep and some notes. I see you got the great Remington trophy here and heard that and saw that presentation earlier this week from DP when AD and Raft were in here. So great event, great experience, but also raises money for a tremendous organization. So congrats to AD on emceeing that. I think the only thing better would be if you can get that, throwback retro Cowboys with the white and the blue star, but we'll work on DP on a little bit of that. That's my Cowboys talk to the day. just, been a good week. I mean, a busy week.
I know you've been busy with the MLK rally. I'm
Yeah.
curious how that's gone for you.
You know what? To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little down. I was a little into myself with the weather and the postponement. We didn't have an in-person on Monday. For those that aren't aware, we've had some guests on in the past, but Monday was the 95th birthday of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the January 15th. And so across the country, celebrations. Lincoln has a unique celebration for 29 years, the annual youth rally, wholly planned by young people. And so they've been working about 3 months for that. And so we started having conversations on Friday with the university, the city, knowing that the weather, was just gonna be too much.
Less than ideal.
Yeah. And we've been out in bitterly cold weather before. We've got a guest on who's been involved with that. And but it was just kind of a different time. I hate saying that, but so we did suspend the in-person event on Monday, ran a pre-recorded mashup. So spent the weekend doing my Harrison and Rico and 93.7 editing skills. Thank you to Canva for the full-on purchase event, but had a number of people watch that. And then on Friday had the unique opportunity to broadcast, and thanks to the city of Lincoln, about an hour of the program. And we had a tremendous amount of viewers. We had schools from in the area. We had a school in Las Vegas, Bellevue, Colorado, Kansas, actually tune in. And so some people say that silver lining was we would have never have done that. We would just capture the audience on that Monday of people watching. And we had resources, reflections, lesson plans, thanks to Sydney and Mrs. Bobby Ehrlich kind of for helping kind of vamp some of those. Honestly, DP, you were actually, you can put on your resume that you did some educational curriculum. We had scholars answer the question, love is. And then on Saturday, we did the in-person. And I will tell you, again, thank you to the university, Kerry Jackson, the parents, all who showed up. We had a tremendous number of individuals show up. I don't have all the numbers and everything, but it was just really to see these scholars from Omaha, from Lincoln, just really put a message forward of just honestly walking together with love, telling their personal reflections. You had Rafa on here. We've had Wid. We've had Lucas, who was one of our most energetic guests. They just brought the house down and really had just a celebration of who they were, of who Dr. King was, who Dr. Bullock was. And so if you missed it and you want to see it, go to MLKYouthRally.com. That's MLKYouthRally.com. There's a link on that site and you can watch the city performance. And I will tell you, it will empower you, it will educate you, but it will also engage you in such a way when you see the elevation of scholar voice that that doesn't happen very often. And if you are disappointed, I'll give you your money back. So it was free if you didn't get that, but you can't walk away from that not being moved.
Yeah, and you've been involved with it for how long have you been doing this?
26 years. So this was the 26th year, and to be honest, we've only postponed in person twice. 2017, there was just it wasn't like this. It actually rained and then it froze.
Oh,
so it was it was about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of ice just on everything.
I think I remember that because I was like pretty much statewide. I remember being Northeast Nebraska, and just 2 inches of ice. They canceled school for a few days. But just doing that for 26 years, we always get to hear, like we said, from these scholars, what they think they're bringing, why it's important to have these. You've been involved with it for quite a while now. Why do you think it is so important to have these events, and what are you really hoping for once it's all said and done, those next few weeks and that even months after the event's over? What are you hoping really transpired?
Yeah, it's greater than one day. And so my hope is that, and I did, AD says this, and I remember when I first heard it and I use it often: motivation leaves the room once you do, inspiration stays long after you're gone. And so my hope is they serve as an inspiration, as a catalyst for, continued action, for continued steps. Now, this may be the first time people heard of certain things. It may be the 40th time, but it just moves them and serves as that light to move them to move forward, promote positive youth action, promote love, equity, civility, justice, and kindness. And again, when we talk about love, that's non-negotiable. And I know it sounds really, really simple, but that's the thing that whether you're on the right, whether you're on the left, one of them said, whether you're an independent, everybody wants love. Everybody deserves love. And so my hope is that people not only just listen, they hear, but then they move it forward and not wait till next year on January 20th or 30th year to say, you know what, and make a post. I was so inspired. These young people really inspire me. That happens all across this, not just on this show, all across this country. You know, when you go to the Supernovas game on the 24th or you're listening, you know, I'd love it if somebody would see a picture of a young person, you know, just smiling, rubbing their hand and be like, you know what? I love seeing that young person, you know, waving that towel. Excited to be at a volleyball game, watching professional women. I mean, this is as close as I could get to honor. I'm waiting for my Supernovas gear from the station. So, you know, if you hear me, DP, but like I got the WNBA sweatshirt, like one of the hottest selling sweatshirts, looks cool, logo, whatever else. Like my hope is that people can love every aspect, because young people just didn't start changing the game like with our youth rally 29 years ago. It was 1963 with the Birmingham Children's March. There's a picture that I would encourage people to look at, and many people have seen it. It's a dog, you know, barking at a young person, a young black male. And at that moment, when John F. Kennedy saw that picture and his wife saw that picture, people were like, what did they have to, like, what did that young person do? Regardless, you know, swimming pool, whether for or against segregation, whatever it might be, what did that young person do to deserve hoses being sprayed on them and a dog biting at them, and they have a tie on and slacks and a jacket? And that's not that long ago. And so we have made a lot of steps in progress. I don't want to diminish that. But what I would like people to do as they listen to that is, we have young people saying some of the same things that they said yesterday at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln that they said the first year of the rally. And so I don't want adults. I don't want young people. I got individuals who've been in that rally that are 40 years old now and saying, I remember when I said that. That's what, not my hope. That's what my desire. That's what my passion is that when they come back in a year or 2 years, they're like, that message was different. That message was so different. And I'm so glad it was so different. And so that's what I really, truly hope for with this, is that when I'm done, the messages are different. Not the people, but the message.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, you know, obviously being outside, just looking in here, doing a fantastic job, just hearing some of these scholars. And it's obviously a blessing to have them. These guys share their stories right here on the ticket. I think it's good to get that story out there. Like you said, hear the voices of those young people. You take them a little more seriously, realizing like their voices matter now. We've heard that multiple times about scholars just feeling like they get put to the side a little bit because they're too young. But now what you're doing is great. And again, if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. Where can they find that again if they want to rewatch it?
Yeah, if you want to watch, please, or you not want to, you need to watch at MLKYouthRally.com, MLKYouthRally.com. Our social media handles are on there, so you can get on, you know, X, Twitter, Instagram. But there's a link to be able to watch articles, past rallies. So if you get another snow day, you just want to binge, you don't even need to get a subscription to Netflix. Just go on in there. But please, I just encourage people, get on that and take a look and provide us feedback. Provide 93.7 The Ticket is a great supporter of that. And so I want to thank the station. They are sponsoring the Love Is component. And so we'll have postcards and note cards on how you can write Love Is and share those with other people. So get on there, MLKYouthRally.com.
Yep. And we'll put that in the notes as well. In case any of you guys miss it, just go to the podcast notes. We'll have it there. But we do have a few guests coming up here on these next segments. We might even bring them a little bit here before we go to the next one. But nonetheless, why don't you preview a little bit what we have ahead?
Yeah, no, you kind of great segue with the youth rally. Again, we've got kind of a old head here, you know, Phil Maynard. And Phil has been on the show. Phil has subbed in for me when I've been gone, introduced him. And then, you know, I shot him a note. I'm not going to lie, last night. And I was just like, hey, you know, would you be interested in coming? And you talked about like, what are those hopes and those perspectives?
Yep.
And so he was instrumental. He had his 5th grade classes over at Saratoga watch. And so I'm interested in his perspective, a little update about, you know, what he's been involved in. Plus he hasn't been to the new studio. So I got to ask him real quick, you know, what does he think about the new studio?
I was pretty excited to come in here. Honestly. Even when I was driving in this morning, I was watching you guys before. I was like, oh, that looks pretty awesome coming in and all that stuff. So I'm excited to definitely be here today.
Yeah, no, he's been like, okay, when am I coming? When am I coming? When am I coming? And so Brady was like outside the door, like holding on. It was like Harrison.
You saw me on the glass out there, didn't you?
I was wondering who that guy was.
Like, get him out of here.
He's like, the response time over here is much better. And the cops kept coming by that he would disappear. And then we've got Amari Harris. Amari is streaming in, and Amari has been an instrumental part of our planning committee for, she's been involved in the rally the last couple of years, and would love her to share again her story a little bit of just how she came to Lincoln, but also sang yesterday. And honestly, didn't just sing, she sang. Okay. She sang. Awesome. S-A-N-G, she sang. She threw it down in a duet and then also had a solo, and just poured into people. And I'm really, truly been blessed to be just introduced to her and know her. And then she went to the UNL Midwest Cup afterwards. So she sang all day in competition as well, because everything was rescheduled. And so,
hopefully she's got a voice left.
Well, she said her voice is going to be a little shoddy, so I can't ask her to go ahead and give everybody a little sample. But she is joining us streaming, and so I'm truly appreciative of both Phil and Amari being here today.
Absolutely. When I see we got Amari waiting in the wings here as well. So on the next segment, we'll get it going here. We'll bring Amari in. We got Phil Maynard in studio as well. The host is always Pete Ferguson to my left, Harrison on the ones and twos. We'll throw it to break here on Bigger Than the Score and talk to you guys in a little bit.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's Cheese Spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's Cheese Spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's Cheese Spread today at your local grocery store.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Gannett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at OutdoorNebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and then on the ones and twos with Harrison. Always appreciative of The Ticket, but Harrison being here on Sunday mornings and making us sound clear. And like I said, someone who's got a face for radio really polishes up things. So thanks, Harrison. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. It's nice. It's one of my opportunities to come out here during the day. You know, usually let's take a weeknight. So it's a good change up for me.
I like when I drive by when I'm going home and I see you back in the back room or like you're sitting here or like everything. I'm like, okay, somebody bring Harrison some dinner or something like that, DoorDash or whatever else. But if you get a chance, come by 1040 O Street. The mill will open here, or the mill is open at 8 o'clock. And
yeah, we got the other Harrison back there right now. So if you guys want to get a cup of coffee, 1040 O Street, meet some of the on-air talent. Again, we got shows all throughout Sunday. So plenty of time to go ahead and meet some of the crew.
Awesome. Well, hey, like I kind of introduced before we went to break, we got we got Phil Maynard here in studio and then Amari, who is on the stream. And so really appreciate both of them joining us here. Phil, let's just start. Like, what do you think about the new studio?
I was so excited to come in here. I always enjoyed the place that was over by the old
Target, across from Target.
Yeah,
that's
Target,
just a
where
landmark.
Best Buy was years and years ago. But coming into this new studio, you guys have just gone above and beyond. It is gorgeous in here. Just the whole layout with all the seating, the new equipment you guys got set up, the coffee that I can hit up right afterwards. I can't complain. This is a pretty nice. And I love the view. And I love listening to you guys in the morning. You see the people that come by and they're waving. You're having those conversations with people in the street too. So I think it's even made this more interactive.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. And Amari, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great.
Well, we talked earlier that you had a long day yesterday. And so you already warned me, you said your voice, but you sound absolutely phenomenal. Yesterday, I have to give you your flowers while on air. Just moved people. People said, do you need a singer? And I said, if you need someone who can sing, Amari is your person. So congratulations. But Amari, why don't you tell people a little bit about who you are, your journey? Have you always lived in Lincoln? And just a little bit who's in your family?
I'm Amari Harris. I'm a 17-year-old senior at Lincoln Northwest. No, I'm not originally from Nebraska. I'm from Meridian, Mississippi originally. We moved here because my mom's a traveling nurse. I've been here for the last 4 years. I moved here December 2019. That's me.
Okay, and tell us, give some names. Who's in your family? Who's in your group? Give them some shout out. Give them some love.
My mom's name is Jennifer Martin. I have 2 twin sisters, Shayla and Brayla, and then my little brother Zay. And then I have to shout out my new puppy. I got a St. Bernard puppy for my birthday. His name's Milo.
Okay, making it happen. Anybody else in the group? Got the puppy? You got mom first. That's good stuff.
It's just us.
All right, good stuff. Well, hey, congratulations on the puppy and everything, and then good job on shouting mom first. Phil, tell us a little bit again. You've been here before, but shout out to who's in your family.
Yeah, I've got my son Parker. He's a 12-year-old. He goes to SCO, and maybe he'll go to Northwest someday too.
Okay.
I'd love for him to go out on that side. I got my wife Melanie, who's in bed, who will definitely catch the show a little bit later today and stuff. But yeah, and probably my parents out in Mesa, Arizona, who I'm sure are listening in, and some grandparents in Arizona. So just really happy to be here and excited to get going for the day.
Awesome. So, Amari, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're involved in.
Well, I'm very active in school, so I do marching band, concert choir, show choir, theater. I also do leadership things at school, like I'm a student council, I'm a leadership for student ambassadors. I'm leadership for show choir as well. And also I have a job outside of school, but yeah, I'm very active.
I was gonna say, when do you sleep? And I know you don't, because you're one you answered when I text. It was like, Amari's pretty quick to go ahead and be on that. Okay, sorry, I was in this, and so always appreciative of that. Kind of leading that, you talked about school a little bit, and so I want to ask Phil and then get his perspective. So there hasn't been a lot of school this year in 2024, not because schools have closed, not because of budgetary reasons, because of the weather. And so just from an educator standpoint, what does that look like for you? And then honestly, like with your family?
I think my son, I have one son, and me being a teacher, we fall into a lot of the same characteristics. We both get a little bit excited about snow days. When we were kids, we used to watch the ticker across the bottom to see if our schools were closed. But he knows that I might get that phone call maybe a second or two before somebody else might to find out if we're going. But we do a lot of scooping, and as cold as it's been, we've stayed inside a little bit too. So during the cold weather, we kind of just stayed warm, tried to get set up on lesson plans and be ready to go, because we know when we go back to school, we're going to have to make up for those missed up days that we had. And a lot of times we take out those extra review days. So we know we're going to hit the ground running a lot of those times too.
Wow.
So, but I'm also curious. I want to hear a little bit more about Milo, this puppy, because I know those St. Bernard dogs get huge.
You're not supposed to say that. They may have not known that when they purchased the dog. We'll get some more info on that in a little bit. Amari, what did the snow, like, what did the inclement weather or snow days, what did that look like for you with all your involvements, also just work, and preparation for other things?
Well, the big thing is it kind of sucks because, again, this is my senior year, and me not being able to go into school is not fun, not enjoyable. But it also puts me in the mind of my 8th grade year, because my 8th grade year was the year that everything shut down for COVID.
Wow. Okay.
But it also puts a lot of our activities behind. So, last week we had to cancel our first show choir competition because no one could get to school, no one could get to rehearsal. And then Lincoln High was just like, okay, we need to call it. So we were supposed to have that competition, and the one we had yesterday was supposed to be the second one, but it was the first one. It was the biggest competition of the season.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. The snow days have just kind of been putting things so behind.
I appreciate you kind of saying that, because that perspective, I think we're not that far removed. And I think sometimes we forget. I saw Harrison's head nod, and you said our 8th grade year reminded us when things were all shut down. And then you're like, this is my senior year. And so I'm not trying to go through some of those things again. And so really, really valuable perspective. So I appreciate you kind of putting us in check a little bit in regards to that, because I didn't think about it honestly that way.
Yeah, that's a lot of kind of school to miss out on.
Yeah.
That. Kind of thinking about that COVID year and everything in between there. But yeah, hopefully we kind of get back here and the weather gets nice and the ground hits rolling again. What are you most excited for, Amari? I'm not on the screen right now, but when school gets going again, what are you most excited to kind of plug back into?
Well, I did just start diff pre-calc, and I love math. I was so excited to get into that class. And then we have a lot of competitions for show choir coming up, so I'm excited for us to be able to have those rehearsals at school and be able to get better.
I think that's cool. When you said that, you're like, I'm excited to get the pre-calc class. I mean, everybody, you got, hey, the scholars that are listening out there, there is excitement getting into that math. Hey, you want to see numbers? I always tell them, you want to see numbers in your salary and all that is your checkbook, then be excited about getting into that. So as you kind of both talked about kind of things being postponed and engagements and different things, both of you have kind of different angles on how you were involved in a couple things that you watched this week with the youth rally in March. And Harrison brought it up earlier. Why is it important for youth to have a voice? Phil, I want to start with you. How do you do that as an educator at Saratoga? But how have you done that through your career to, one, ensure youth have a voice? And then what is it important? Like, why is it important?
Yeah. You know, like you said earlier in the show, it was there was a silver lining this week with, unfortunately with the weather, but be able to have kids be able to observe the rally in the classroom virtually was kind of a cool experience that I've never had before. And something that was really neat was you had so many good speakers. A lot of those scholars would come up and we'd have those kids that would actually see themselves within those speakers as well. You had a young lady who was speaking. You'll have to remind me of her name, who had a hijab on.
Rafa or Wid?
Yeah, I think it was Rafa. And as she was speaking, we have some young students at Saratoga who definitely saw themselves in the eyes of these students as well. And as they were watching it, you could see that their excitement and their growth just through their eyes and their passion, and their teachers coming to find me afterwards saying, "Oh, you got it. You're a good friend with Pete, Mr. Maynard. I know you've got to help me get this girl set up for this program." And I go, "We'll definitely see. We'll get these things going." But I think especially with all the changes that we've had, and it was almost like Amani brought up earlier, it was almost a little surreal having all this missed school, because it does give you that little flashback of what it was like during the pandemic a bit. But even my son on Tuesday was like, "Oh, I need to get it." He was ready to see his friends, you know, just kind of get back into the rhythm of things again. So I think a lot of it's just kind of getting back in the routine, getting back in that motions. But in a weird way, it was really kind of neat to have that experience where I could share that with those kids, which I might not have had that opportunity. So I was pretty excited about that.
Awesome. Amari, tell us a little bit too. I mean, the importance of elevating your voice, and you do it in a variety of different ways. And so it doesn't have to just be the rally, but you participated you talked about the choral component that UNL, was it the UNL Midwest Cup?
Yes.
Yeah. So you participate in that, and you do a lot of that through music, but I also know you do that through your voice. Why is it important for youth to have platforms to elevate their voice in whatever way it is, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's speaking at places like the rally? Why do you see that as being important?
I think it's important because whether or not we like it or not, the generation before us is going to get older and they're going to stop being able to voice the things that they want to voice. And if we don't have the younger people coming through and taking that, taking the stake for that, then we won't have any advocacy for anything. So I think it's important for the youth to have a voice in things, because obviously we don't want it to just be the older generation saying things and shining light on things, because again, they're one day not going to be here. And if we don't train the younger people to know how to stand up for others, then we're going to be in some deep trouble.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, what is something that you need this community or those listening to know right now at this moment in time? What is something you need individuals to know, especially at this moment in time?
I just want individuals to know that it's okay to be different than other people, and it's okay to feel how you feel, believe in what you believe, but it's not okay to think poorly of someone based on how they feel or how they differ from other people. Because, I mean, everyone has their differences, but we're all the same in some way.
Mm-hmm. Really, I appreciate that, Amari. I mean, like I said, you've always eloquently poured into people in different ways, and the way you summarize that of just, again goes back to love, but it's taking those steps to ensure that everybody, there's inclusiveness, there's belonging, but also there's accessibility and accountability to make sure that happens, and that doesn't just happen with one event or one day or one piece. Phil, tell us a little bit, what does that look like for you with young people? And I might ask you to share the positives. You're always very positive, but where do you see young people or maybe adults struggle with that and in modeling? Because you said earlier scholars could see themselves in some of the scholars on the stage. What happens when they don't see that?
Oh, that's a good question, Pete. Well, I often when I go back, love has no barriers. You have to really think of what Maya Angelou. And when I think about love, it's what we do for other people. It's not so much about ourselves, but it's really kind of putting ourselves out there for other people, putting them forward, helping them get to where they need to be. I think when the kids can hear that and they can see other people and they hear those living examples themselves, it's going to give them the goals, the strive to make sure that they want to get there as well. They want to live that walk. They want to walk that walk as well. But sometimes you're absolutely right that sometimes there's stones that stop them in the way. There's roadblocks and things like that. So they have to have those mentors, those peers, those adults who can kind of be those advocates, those people who can kind of show them what that looks like and kind of teach them the right way to go. So we as adults and mentors, we have to remember that they're always watching, they're always learning from us too. So we have to walk the walk.
Wow. So, after the break, we're going to come back and ask you some questions about just relationships. And then Amari, just what your experience was like, how you all did at the UNL Midwest Cup, how you personally and how Lincoln Northwest did, because I know we had some people on before. When you talked about that being your first show, I know the school didn't have all the accessibilities last year. And so really kind of want to profile all the things that you're doing. So after the break, we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket with Bigger Than the Score.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
School taught you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I used to be a weight guy. I used to love weight.
You ain't never been a weight guy. That's a lie.
Let me tell you something.
You've never been a weight guy.
I was in a 300-pound club
No,
in
sir.
high school.
Yes. No, sir.
Are you kidding
Yes.
me?
That 315 pounds would have sent him through the. It'd have been 6 feet under trying to figure out how to get up out that hole.
That's how big
you ain't never been nowhere near that platform to get up there for lifter of the year. You.
I don't want to be lifter of the year. I
So
want to be
how
the player of the year. Who wants to be a lifter of the year when you want to be the player of the year? Nobody care about weights.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and then joined on the ones and twos by Harrison. Harrison, how can people get in touch with us if they're interested?
Yep, you can join us all day long. Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 961. Always a great way to put a face to the voice.
Yeah, and got a full day of programming, so make sure if you missed Jay Foreman on it right before us, and then right after us, you got Fitness Fanatics, a great 2 hours of just kind of getting the physical part, but also the mental part in line. So we're joined here with Phil Maynard, who's an educator here in Lincoln, and then also got on the stream Amari Harris, and so really appreciative of them being here this morning. Amari, I kind of want to start with you. We obviously a talented young lady in so many different ways and facets, but I know music is something that's extremely important to you. Tell me, how did you find your love for music and just performing?
Well, from a very young age, I used to sing in the church choir because I come from a long family of pastors. So like a lot of my uncles are pastors. My dad's a pastor, grandparents, pastors. So I've been singing in church choir since I was little. Like I have pictures from me being 2 years old up in the choir. But then later on, I get to like middle school. Back in Mississippi, middle school starts 5th grade, which was weird for me when I got here and people were going to middle school in 6th grade. But I started band in middle school. So I started off on the trumpet. I've been playing the trumpet since 6th grade, still am. And then I get to Nebraska, and there's so many different opportunities for band. It's not just a class. You can do honor bands. I'm participating in an honor band at Wesleyan next month. Wow. Leadership for band now. Like there's so many opportunities for instrumental music here in Nebraska, which I'm so grateful for. And then I get to Northwest, and the choir director there, he's so assertive. And I think that's what drew me to him. I love Marquez so much.
And give a shout out to who he is. I know you mentioned the last name, but definitely who is the choir and the music director there?
Well, starting off, our department chair is Rob Salestein, great guy. Band director is Paul Kenny, another great guy. And then the personality of the whole program is John Marquez. He's the choir director over there. He's the show choir director over there. he is the personality of music at Northwest. I feel like all of the greatness that comes from our music department are the 3 top guys over there. Our choir has grew so much from last year, and I owe that all to Marquez because he's always out in the hallways talking to someone new. He's never like, oh, I don't know them, so I'm not going to talk to them. He's always asserting himself, and I love that about him.
How come when I get in the halls and I'm starting to show my stuff and blow my pipes, tell them like I'm do some Keith Sweat, some Devontae Smooth, some Jodeci, those are listening, New Edition. And I was like, hey, I'm ready to go. And he's like, okay, I'll shoot you an email. And I haven't got that email, Mr. Marquez. So I'm coming back with my own group. Okay. Brothers on Sunday. We're coming. We're coming. So how did you so you talked about your love for music. What's kind of your favorite thing to sing? I know you said you got your start kind of in the church, and for us this weekend, you sang a couple different pieces. You sang the piece, The Color Purple, and you and Daisha did a phenomenal job. And then you sang a solo, Mary J. Blige, and the hidden proof. And so, what's your favorite thing to sing and engage in?
My favorite thing to sing and engage in will forever and always be gospel. Again, it's so deep in my roots. Everywhere I go, there it is. I have multiple playlists, all different genres. I can't get in the car with my mom and not hear a gospel song.
Okay.
It takes a little bit for me to be able to like, hey, let me DJ so I can get away from the gospel.
Who's the favorite singer? I know when Kirk Franklin played yesterday, I saw you get your little groove on. So who's your favorite gospel singer?
My favorite gospel singer, there's so many. I'll give you my top 3.
Okay.
It'd either be Tamla Mann,
okay,
Jacqueline Carr, or Zacardi Cortez.
Okay. We might have to change the theme music to the show here, Harrison.
Yeah,
have to look that
research.
up on the playlist. Yeah, Harrison's like looking it up on Google real quick and be like, okay, we'll get the rights. So I want to go to Phil, because obviously you engaged, saw different things. You saw Amari, Daisha, you saw Carrie Posey, who is from Omaha, just similar to Amari, a phenomenal talent. She is a senior at Omaha Central, and I will tell you, watch these 3 young ladies, their voices Daisha or Amari sang with a track on the last one, barely, but everything else was done a cappella.
They were spectacular.
Yeah. And so tell me, when you saw her and heard the words to her song, like, how did that resonate with you as an adult?
Oh, for sure. Well, first off, I'm so excited about Lincoln North up on the north side, because being a north sider myself, I'm excited to see the strength in Lincoln North. So that makes me excited. Just seeing it back. And for me, I'm definitely seeing it through the eyes of my students. Just kind of watching the way that they take it in, the way that getting a 5th grader to calm down is one thing, Pete, but when you have a room full of 5th graders who are just drawn into something, and it was just, you could drop a pen on the floor and you would have heard it, just because they were all just taken back. They were ready to just be great listeners, be into this presentation, and the words and the music, it was something that we could have sat in all day. I think that we were a part of this. They felt that they were a part of this rally as well, even though that they weren't in attendance. But the music, not only the music, but the speeches, everything that was said kind of just moved them, and it put them in the right direction, and it left them in a frame of mind for the weekend. I think, what a way to start our Friday. What a way to start our weekend. The passion was strong at Saratoga. We felt so fortunate to be a part of that event.
Wow, I know, and definitely appreciate you tuning in. Want to ask, I'm gonna start with Amari, because I love the question that Harrison posed to me earlier. And if I butchered Harrison, go ahead and clean it up. But, what is your hope or your desire? Well, before we go to that, why did you get involved? Why did you get involved in just the rally? Why do you get involved in things?
I get involved because I like to be seen and get my voice across things. I like advocating for my own experiences, because you're not empty or a quiet mouth doesn't get fed. Is I live by that. So I got involved one because I enjoy anything that you do, Pete. I know it's always meaningful. But I got involved just because the movement is bigger than what people think, and I would like to be involved early on. Because I know it's something that's going to carry on and it's going to become bigger than what it already is, although it's so big now and it's so impactful. I got involved because it's something that I want to go into. As I get older, I love the topic of things like that. So I got involved just because it's been a passion of mine for a while.
And as you spoke on so many things, like Harrison asked earlier, what is the movement or their hope or the desire that you hope or that you believe people need to have based on your involvement? And whether it's a message from the rally, whether it's from, singing or seeing you in different space, like what do you in 3 years when you come back, or 5 or 10 years, like what needs to happen from Amari Harris being involved?
Well, obviously, I'd like to see more youth come forward and voice their talents. I would like to see, they don't have to be a musician or a singer. They could be like a poet. I just want to see young people come forward and be like, I was inspired so many years ago to do this, and now it's my turn. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the younger kids getting inspired and stepping up into the position and taking matters into their own hands.
That makes me feel awesome, because that's exactly what I'm hoping as an early childhood educator that they're getting out of it too, is that they're learning from these kids and they want to fill in those shoes as well. Just exactly what you said. It's just, what you said was on point. As an educator, I want my kids to see through your eyes. I want them to be in those same shoes as they get older, because you are leading that way. You're paving that road for them for sure.
And I think we want, as educators, we want to see that, but also just as parents and as human beings, as community members. And, I don't use sponsors, I say as stakeholders. And so I think both of you have just outlined, what we hope for, but what needs to happen. Phil, I want to ask you, you gave us one takeaway from the class or the engagement or watching. What is either a personal takeaway or another takeaway that occurred as either you viewed or as your classes viewed, or just even if it wasn't just this year, from the engagement as a whole?
And I told you, Pete, this is the first year I've actually I'm an instructional coach now, so I don't have my own classroom.
Right.
But when I was a regular classroom teacher, I was able to do a little bit more promotion and stuff like that, or even advocating.
Right.
I want to say, but with my son, I think is probably one of my biggest that's one of my biggest things, is to see it through his eyes and to see how he has become more excited about the rally as well, wanting to sit down, watch the viewership, things like this. We had a soccer game at the exact, so he was so bummed about Saturday. And I was like, we will line dance at home. We will figure this out. So, but we are very passionate about that. And it's been really neat to see the growth of the rally. I remember years back, just freezing outside and just seeing how much these kids grow and to see how, but I think what you said, it's not about them, it's about these kids each presenting their ways, things that inspire them as well. And of course, they all don't march to the beat of the same drum. They get to share their passions in their way. And I think that is just such a cool way to have that stage, a way for them to show what inspires them.
Well, and I think the neat thing about not just the rally, I remember a young lady told me, one of our scholars, I want to say Iman said it before, is oftentimes many people have a plan, but she said it, many young people have a plan, but they very rarely get the platform.
Yeah.
And so, just in brief, how does Saratoga or how have you provided that platform for young people to put their voice forward?
Well, and that was one of it, like at the rally, one of the rally, the theme this year was what love.
Rally, a walk together with love.
Walk together with love. So that's what we did as a group. Our class got together and we talked about what love was. What does love look at? Some it was family and friends. Some it was the Saratoga community. Some it was teachers, brothers and sisters. It was who was love to them, who empowered them, who made them want to be the best that they could be. So I was really excited about having those conversations with fifth graders. And Pete, I showed you this earlier, and you can always look at this on the Saratoga Facebook. We all went on there, and every fifth grader traced their hand, and after they had those conversations, they wrote what love meant to them. And they held this up, and as we talked about and we looked at each other, they realized they have a lot of the same things that mean that to them as well. It was family, it was friends, it was the Saratoga community, it was the teachers, it was those safe feelings that they have in that classroom. So I'm excited about not only what I feel like I provide, but what our Saratoga and Lincoln Public Schools, what we provide for those kids to make them feel advocates where they can have that.
Awesome. Amari, just before we close, what's your future plans? In about 30 seconds, what's your future plans?
Well, I'm going to graduate high school in 4 months. I'm going to Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm going to study health science and then study law on the side, and then go to a law school.
Is Milo going with you, or are you going to leave Milo at home?
Milo's going to Hastings with my sister because I don't think he's going to do well in the Mississippi heat.
Awesome. Well, hey, I want to thank Phil. I want to thank Amari for just so many things. She's continuing to make noise out there. Please, if you get a chance, just tune in, MLKYouthRally.com, to watch what Phil talked about, but what Amari. So just put her voice out there, and not only just the words, but also the music. The focus was Love Is, and this is, I want to again thank 93.7 The Ticket for supporting and sponsoring. We've got these note cards, and we're going to leave some of them here at the station. You can come in, you can just fill out on the back, and what's on the front is that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, "Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is the power correcting everything that stands against love." Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos of Community. Again, we look forward to seeing you next week. 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score. This is Peter Ferguson. Have a great week. Remember, love is. Finish that sentence.